Well, good morning, and good morning. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, you see how I was trying to act like had all that energy. I kind of do today. It's better. It's getting better. Yesterday I was dragging booty because somebody snorting kept me up the whole night. I'm not kidding. Ugh. So we started staggering. I go to bed early now, so I can get in front of that. It's the I don't know what it is, the rain or something like that. But I'm here, and okay, I can hear you thinking, whose little boy's hat is that he has on his head? Look, I bought this hat 3 years ago when we were in Mexico, and it must have shrunk or something because. But I was determined. I'm like, you know what? I remember that thing was like 30 some dollars. I'm making it fit. It's made out of straw, so it should stretch. But anyway, I have that on today because I'm trying to. It's like when you stuff your shoes because you want to keep them, you want to get them where they're big enough, Same thing here. So anyway, plus I'm willing sunshiny weather, and I'm gonna go out and do some gardening today. So I thought this would be a great thing to have, neighbors. On my cul-de-sac, everybody's always watching what you're doing, especially this time of year and Christmas, because we're very competitive when it comes to the plants and flower beds, and then the lights at Christmas. Because I gotta look. I'm not playing. I'll be outside with this up in their yards. I'm that competitive. I'm Loren Michaels Harris, and welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. We are streaming live. That's right. Feel it. Feel the heartbeat of it all right here on Facebook, but also YouTube, Roku, Android, Amazon, Fire TV, Apple TV, and E360 TV out of sunny Phoenix, Arizona. And also tipping my tight hat to my sponsors. Love you guys, Troy Rock and his team over at symposium.us. Symposium.us. Now, what is so big and bold and bad about them? Well, I'm going to tell you. I've done it over 20 some times myself. You can get over there and you can turn whatever it is you're good at. You can turn your conversation, whatever you're good at talking about, into currency. That's right, greenbacks, moolah, making it rain by utilizing your talents. I have friends and clients and family members over on Symposium right now who are making additional income, which everybody could use a little bit of in this trying time, by telling stories to kids, tutoring kids, yoga classes, fitness classes, Zumba classes. I know one woman, Carol Rogers, who's doing vision board classes. So how to write, anything that you're good at. People are looking for things to learn, to improve themselves right now, being stuck at home. So get over to Google Store, or the App Store, and download the app for symposium.us today. I'm telling you, you might be surprised at what you find, and you might even end up surprising yourself. So last night, did you catch hold on, I'm looking for something. Did you catch Bathrobe Moments After Dark? I had a wonderful woman, Giovanna Salas, a movie producer. She owns Heart of Hollywood Motion Picture Company out in Los Angeles, and she's doing big things. She's been out there. She's been in the industry for years, but she came on, and she's a Latina, and it's this week I've truly been featuring some powerful women. And they just happen to be women of color. And that makes my heart warm and warmer because it wasn't cold. I'm looking for something. Okay, there we go. Got to get my sponsorship thing going. I ain't trying to lose that money. And I'm just keeping it real. The Bell of Purpose is in the house, as always. For those of you who have been hiding under rocks for the last 3 seasons and have finally come out to join us here on Bathrobe Moments, this is new this year, so you didn't miss it. What this is, I'm back up. This is the Bell of Purpose, which means when you hear me ring it, our guest or one of you either put something on the screen or our guest said something that we were like, girl, for real? Did you just say that? Loving it. This means this is your chance to throw some hearts up on the screen, some thumbs up, some likes, something. Shout amen, hallelujah, do a dance, a jig, something. Because, when we hear things that we can say, now I believe that, I'm affirming that, I receive that, we need to let others know. We need to let others know. People are taking stuff and putting it inside their mindset that ain't got no business being in there. So those of us who know better, those of us are here to change the world. When you hear something that is worthy of an amen, hit the share button. Call somebody up. Start a watch party. Anything to get it into the hands and hearts and minds of others, okay? It's just that easy. We all, quit playing. We all know we want to innately be a part of something greater than ourselves. And it's just that simple. When you hear something great come from our guest today, throw some hearts on the screen and share it with someone you love. So who is here today? Well, if you hear the wings fluttering, it's because we have an angel in the house. We do. Angel in Livest, and she told me she remembers. It's easy to remember her name because she always says, "I'm the livest one in the house." So it worked because I was going Livest. Now I get it. Loving it. So she's a best-selling author, a visionary, CEO, and 2019 Communicator Award recipient. We'll talk about that for her radio program, The Woman Behind the Business Talk Show. In 2016, Angel organized a movement for women entrepreneurs to expand their companies into international territories by way of her nonprofit, The Woman Behind the Business. Since its inception, women from across the globe annually convene in Nassau, Bahamas, where the first international chapter was formed. She's the CEO of DC Media Connection, and we'll talk about that, and just all kinds of stuff. There's a book, she's in magazines, but if I told you all of it, there'd be nothing for her to talk about. But here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to do things a little differently to give you a little taste, okay? So I'm going to let you guys take a look. I found a little something that says, get to know Angel Livest, the woman behind the business. So I thought, well, it's short, it's sweet, it gets to the point. Why not? So sit back, take a look at this.
Hello, I'm Angel Livest, Gracie Award-winning executive producer and CEO of DC Media Connection and Creative Introduction. I love storytelling. When I was in college, a professor once told us that our role as journalists was to be a voice to the voiceless, and I instantly fell in love with that concept. For nearly 20 years, I've worked to be that voice and to help others gain theirs.
20 years?
I've had the distinct pleasure of serving as executive producer for Emmy award-winning hosts such as Larry King, Jane Pauley, among others. One of the compliments that I receive most often from clients and colleagues relates to my personable personality and ability to make others want to excel. How do I do this? To be honest, I believe it is my innate gift. I believe that my purpose in life is to help others succeed. So whether it's through emceeing events, digital storytelling, assisting clients with branding, social media, or providing PR services, my goal is to bring the story to life, bring your story to life, and at the end of the day, bring your vision to life.
Okay. Okay, and I like that little soundtrack back there. Here she is. Oh, okay. Oh, you wasn't playing when you said, let me go and finish getting ready. I feel like I should have went and put a suit on. Okay, well, welcome to the show. How are you?
I am well. Thank you, Loren. It's such a pleasure to be here with you.
Same here. Now, y'all know, I don't know, could y'all hear me when I was watching things? She goes, and for the last 20 years, and I was like, girl, quit playing. You don't even look like you could have been doing anything but maybe going to middle school. So you look really, really, how old? Well, don't ask. My sister told me that. Quit asking your female guests how old they are, because I'll do it in a minute. Because I don't think that way. I don't think in a judgmental way. I think it's a look.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
So I'm 37 now.
Wow.
20 years. So I literally started working in radio when I was 17.
Wow. It's just a big. Oh. And your proudest to compliment, I met two of them this morning. Your boys, yes. Noah and Nelson. So handsome, so smart. And they just like bees to a high. I wanted to ask them because when I look at them, I said, you know what? They remind me, that's how I was with my adoptive mom at that age. And I remember when it was between her and my teacher. I was going to grow up and marry one of them. And I remember the day she told me, you can't marry me. I was devastated. I think I was 6. And I was like, so can we get married? How old do I need to be for us to get married? And she was like, we can't get married. And I was like, why? You know, so I look at them and the way they were loving on you. It's just, so you have a beautiful family.
Thank you.
You do. So tell everybody where.
Hold up. My children are beautiful, but I am single. Let me just be clear.
Oh, you are. And that's another question I wanted to ask. Oh, is a daddy in the picture? You know, but again, the women in my family, I swear, it's like, I'm glad for this social distancing just for that alone. Because when we get together, especially during the summer, and they've been watching, you remember that show? You know, all the older women. You had no business asking that girl, blah, 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 blah. And I mean, they act like they want to go. I'm surprised they haven't said, go out there and get me a switch. Right. You know how they used to say, go get your own switch? Yeah, and you better not break, right? Or you're going to get another whooping, right? So anyway, but I love that because we all need people in our lives that tell us what we need to hear and not always what we want to hear. But so you're single. How can that be?
Well, you know, things happen. I was married.
I know, but I'm saying.
Got divorced, and yeah, but I mean, we are great co-parents. It wasn't anything crazy that ended the relationship, but I'm just a firm believer that you live once. You have one life to live, and if you do. Don't feel as though you're being completely fulfilled, and whether it's your relationship, whether it's your work, then it's time to make some adjustments. And it was just one of those things where it was like, I'd rather make adjustments than to stay in something that I don't feel can completely make me happy. So.
Well, I think, you know, that's a great way to look at it and to proceed. And you got 2 wonderful miracles from it. And the fact that you guys are great co-parents is another testament that it can work even after it didn't work. And also, but man, that makes it even more impressive, all the things that you're accomplishing. And being a mommy, I heard you telling them about how much screen time, and you go for a few minutes. Yeah, because you got to be careful, right?
Yeah.
And you have boys, so I know those 2, and they look like little football players. So when they start running and ripping,
stopping them. But I will say, God knew what He was doing when He gave me boys. Because I used to play football. I used to play co-ed flag football. So I definitely, as much as I'm very, you know, I don't think I'm prissy, but I definitely, you know how to act like a lady, but I definitely enjoy sports and outdoors and all that stuff.
Okay. So the future guy, let's say if it was, you ever seen the show Power?
Yeah.
You know, Ghost?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wait a minute. All I can say is, girl. So, hopefully, your ghost will come along.
Lord.
Okay, someday my ghost will come. Anyway, if you guys don't know who Ghost is, you need to get over. I don't know what rock you hiding under. My husband and I, we be sitting there, popcorn. We eat whatever we eat and be all over the floor, all over the couch. We missing our mouth. Ghost. And I'm gonna tell. There ain't no kids watch. So I'm saying this too. If you guys do go watch it, pay attention to the washing machine. You'll know what I mean, huh? We're like, did he just? So anyway, how come you're a journalist? When you do your work, I went through everything, all your footage. I love it. I can just see you. Now, were you ever on network news? Because I can just see you, you know. Hi, I'm Angel Ives. And just behind me, behind these doors, they're deliberating the fate of one Tommy Miller. You know what I mean? I can just see you. So you went to, love it, Howard University. So much talent. Yes. Hats off to Howard. So Wendy, what's her name from Steve Harvey's show? I'm friends with her ex-husband. He lives here in Chicago, who will remain nameless because she ain't coming to whoop me for mentioning him in the same phrase as her. Wendy Raquel Williams. Her. She went there. He was telling me all about it. A lot of great talent. What was that like going to school? And were you in a sorority?
I did, actually. I did pledge Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Okay.
And so Howard was an amazing experience for me. I grew up in a predominant a predominant neighborhood. So there were not a lot of people who looked like me in my elementary, middle school, and high school days. So it gave me an opportunity to go to a historically Black university.
Nice.
Definitely, like, it was a different experience for me. So I absolutely love it. I still am very close with a number of people that I went to college with. So yeah, like, it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place. If you are not familiar with Howard, I don't know where you've been, but like, all of our recent graduates, congratulations to the class of 2020. But yeah, no, Howard was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Howard, yes, wonderful traditional Black college, and so much talent out of that school. So much, just like Spelman, Morehouse, all of them. I'm just so proud of my people. I am, and I'm glad to say that. You don't know. I wish my birth mother, Lucille, was alive to hear me say that, because when I first met her, honest to goodness, and I think she was right. She was right about everything else. She told me, I remember it was like maybe 6 weeks after I met her, and we were sitting there, and she goes, you know, and she was from Arkansas, so she does as country as she want to be. She was like, you know, you just might end up on Maury Povich one day. And I was like, for real? You think? And she goes, yeah, it'll be for a show called I Can't Stand My Race. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, you need to be, you don't have any pride in your own people. I can tell everything you talk about is colorless. She just let me have it. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, because just like I was seeking to find her, I was seeking to find myself. Mm-hmm. And I didn't start that quest of looking for myself until after I found her, because I needed to know where it began in my mind, and then go from there. So she was right. So today, and I'm glad, because I didn't know what I was missing. And so that's a great place for us to go when we talk about, now you have all this stuff. I'm not kidding. Name them all. Starting with the women. I love the woman behind the business. I love that concept.
Thank you.
I love that concept, and you're very good. So just tick them off. All the different angel fingers of your brands. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's the Woman Behind the Business, which is our nonprofit. Then from the Woman Behind the Business, we have the radio show, which you can always tune into if you're local in the Washington, D.C. area. It's on terrestrial radio 96.3 FM HD4. Or you can grab the podcast. You can subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Again, it's the Woman Behind the Business. And we also have the media company called, that was not a shameless plug,
93.6 FM at 4 a.m. And also, don't forget to stop by my Miss Ruby's Cupcake Shop, which is right down on the corner. Tell her I sent you, and pick up your punch card. I'm kidding. I'm headache. Okay, go ahead.
And then we have the media company, DC Media Connection, which we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary.
Yes, so, yay. And I want to talk about that.
Yes. And then from there, like, everything else is just kind of just part of like my personal brand. So I've authored 3 books, 2 of which recently came out. So Side Hustle to Main Hustle. That is our, that one technically came out in ebook form in December. That one will be available in print starting in June 2020. Our newest book that came out like earlier this month is called Her Therapy. And that is all about balancing life between mom and boss and managing mommy guilt, because it's a real thing that we don't really talk about. And
the guilt of doing things, going to work, and like, oh my God, I can't go to their soccer game, and what kind of mother are you? That kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, like so what I've noticed is extremely prevalent in high achievers or overachievers. And I definitely fall in the overachiever category. And I told you that I would probably talk about this, but like leading up to me being able to have children, I had 5 miscarriages. And those miscarriages are what I believe is something that I had to go through so that I would not lose focus of why I had my children and how important they are in my life. And so from that journey to now, it's been very, I've been very intentional with how I integrate my children in not only my life, but really paying attention to what are their gifts, what are their talents, and how can I integrate that in the things that I can, we can do things.
I want us to talk about something really quickly because I was shocked. I had no idea. And since you brought it up, if we could just touch on it for a second. So, because someone out there needs to know, because I really didn't. Okay. You said leading up to your beautiful sons, you had 5 miscarriages. Now and you just said it and we just went on and strolled right on past it. Now, I have a family member last year when we did the Power of We Symposium. That's my give back arm to the kids. We were in Atlanta and I had a family member who lives in Florida who was going to drive up and be there, be a part of it to support. And then she realized that the date of it fell on the date that she had a miscarriage 30 some years ago, I think. And she was like, that day is just never a good day for me. And I'm going to have to take a pass. And I was like, okay. But then, I was like, really? That long, that much? So do you know what I'm getting at? Who knew that? And I'm leaving Side Hustle up so we can get to that next. But what's that? What is that? I mean, it's a real thing, isn't it, for women?
So I think it depends on the woman. I am definitely cut a little different. So my first one was the worst. I can't say that I ever birthmarked and said, this is the day that this happened. That just wasn't me. Because it wasn't something that I wanted to hold on to. That was not my truth. I didn't accept that as my truth.
Right.
And so I never allowed it to settle. And I think some women, they allow it to settle and it's heartbreaking. Because it was something that they were really looking forward to and they don't have the capacity to deal with it in any other way.
Yeah.
For me, I don't process things that way.
Right.
And so I never allowed it to become a thing, which is why it kept happening. Like, so literally it happened for 2 years back to back and they were all like reoccurring. And so it was one of those things that I just made the decision, like, this is not what it's going to be. And I remember after the fourth miscarriage, I remember I was already seeing a specialist after the third one. After the fourth, they took us in and the specialist was saying, we just want to let you know your likelihood of being able to have children is really, really low. I think it was like less than 25%.
Oh, wow.
And at the time I was in my 20s.
Oh.
And I'm like, again, I don't receive what you're telling me.
There it is.
And so he went through all of these different things and said, at this point, we recommend that you come in. We can do an artificial insemination. We can do all of these things.
Yeah.
And told me the price. And I was just like, okay, I hear you. And I just
kept going.
Yeah, I just kept going. So again, it depends. And I want to be very sensitive to some because I have friends and family who have had miscarriages and
it's different for each woman.
It's totally different depending on the person.
Okay.
But it's definitely something that needs more conversations around.
It does, especially for men.
Oh yeah, because they have no idea. Like
to how to process it and how to be sensitive to it. It's the kind of thing you don't know what to say. Exactly. I was like, when she said it, I was like, okay. Oh, look at the time. Gotta go, cuz. Because I was like, oh my God. It's I put it right in the category of when I was a kid and my mom would say, oh, okay, ride your bike up to Kroger's and get me a box of tampons. I'll never forget the first time. I was like, excuse me? It took me about 4 hours to get in and out of that store because that's a whole nother show. But anyway, okay. So you, and let me just say this. So, and when you did conceive with your oldest son, he's 5, right? 7 and 5. The 7-year-old. Were you fearful through the pregnancy because of all those miscarriages? Or you had released it and when it was gone?
Yeah, like I didn't harbor it. I know that my ex-husband, he had difficulties, I think, because like Like we were not.
Don't want to get too excited.
Yeah, like we were not intimate the entire pregnancy. It was just like this thing. And again, like I understood. But at the same time, I'm all about just owning my truth.
Right.
And accepting what I believe to be my fate.
He didn't want you to do nothing during that pregnancy, did he?
Most things he didn't care about, but we wasn't having sex. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. He's like, I ain't killing. Okay. I mean, it's and guys, that's a book that needs to be written. There's probably some out there, but we need more conversation, like you said. So tell us about what you choose. Did you want to talk about Side Hustle to Main Hustle, the book?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Yeah. So tell us about it. And
Side Hustle to Main Hustle is all about transitioning into full-time entrepreneurship. It is. So the subtitle is The Owner's Manual to Full-Time Entrepreneurship. And so the goal of that book is to help people who have been straddling the fence. I say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, or it's not what I'm going to do. But it gives you a roadmap to do it and be successful in that transition. So we go over everything from the inside out. So believing in yourself. How do you execute getting everything together? How do you hold yourself accountable? What does that look like? Do you have the right support system? And can you be truthful and very transparent with your brand? And so all of those things make up what I call the beast mentality, which you learn all about in the book, Side Hustle to Main Hustle.
Oh, okay. Well, I have some questions I'd like to throw at you for those who are on the fence, because now more than ever, there are people, not just people who have been sitting at home on the fence about, venturing off into their own main hustle, but also a lot of people now who are rethinking what they've been doing for years because they've been laid off and they're going, do I really want to even go back to that damn place? I had somebody yesterday, one of my coaching clients, who said, yeah, I'm tired of these 2 jobs. I quit one yesterday and I'm going in and quitting the other one tomorrow because I finally got the nerve to go ask the place I really wanted to work at. And the guy said, well, yeah, I wondered why you never came and asked me, and I'm like, wow. So people are doing a lot of reinventing during this pandemic. And so I want some tips from you, but right now we're going to take a pause for the cause and see what's going on with my sponsor. Okay, we'll be right back in just a second. Stay with us. Okay, and we're back with our guest today, who is Angel Livest, the livest one in the house today. And we're about to talk, if you just joined us, great time to get here, but next time, be on time. But again, I do believe in what Olita Adams said. I don't care how you get here, just get here if you can. So welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. Of course, I'm Loren Michaels Harris, and on the other side of the screen is Angel in for Nicole Livest. And so, Nicole, we were about to get into some tips, if you will, for people who are, and this is a real thing. This is a real thing. So you guys get your pen and paper handy, or hit the record thing on your phone, whatever you need to do, because I got a feeling some really great stuff is on the way. What would you say to people who are sitting there trying to assess or ascertain, how do I do this? I'm home. I got all this time. I got to be here. I can't go back because here's something a lot of people are dealing with. They maybe can go back because things are being loosened up in certain areas. They can maybe go back to work, but the daycare centers and stuff, childcare hasn't opened back up. So they really can't go back. So a lot of people are tendering resignations or being told, oh, if you don't come back now, don't come back at all kinds of different scenarios. So for the person who has an entrepreneurial seed, they just don't know how to plant it. Okay, let's hear from the master gardener who wrote the book about it. What is the process that you recommend so people are at least they have a possibility of being successful? Because if you don't do it in the right order, you're working against yourself. Go ahead.
So the number one thing is, for me, I believe that it requires you to be able to believe in yourself. And the whole thing around believing in yourself is so important, because you're going to be told no. You're going to be rejected. You're going to have people who don't show up for you that you think should be showing up. You're going to go through some things. And so if you have that foundational element of believing in yourself, then that to me is the most important element. From believing in yourself, then you have to make sure that is what you want to sell or build a business around, is it something that society needs? Is it solving a problem? Is it making their life easier or better? If it doesn't, it might be a hobby, right?
Yeah.
It might be something that you just do on the side that you just enjoy to do. But you want to make sure that your business idea is going to solve a problem. It's going to make somebody's life easier. Otherwise, why would I spend my money on whatever the services are or whatever the product is? Okay. From there, you want to make sure that you have your business structured. So writing a plan. And I am not one of those people who feel like you have to have a 500-page business plan.
Yeah.
There are very, very successful businesses that started off in a diner on a napkin. Okay. And so taking the time to just write out like a one-pager even.
Yeah.
What is the overarching goal of this business? How are you going to market it? Who is your target audience? Look at you.
I keep it. I keep it because it's right here on my desk. I keep it all the time. Joe did.
It's and because that's real.
Yes, real.
Most successful people, when that idea hits you, you're lost in that moment, and you don't care what you have to write on a back of an envelope, a napkin,
that's
whatever.
Right.
You're going to get
arm.
Exactly. And so, I mean, not to be like quoting scriptures, but the Bible says, make the vision plain. Like you have to write it out.
Girl.
Write the vision, make it plain. And so in doing that, you're able to take the idea from just a concept to now something that's tangible that you can share with the different resources to help you manifest it.
That's right. And
so from there, then you're going to work on your foundation. Like, what does this need to be? Is it an LLC? Is it a sole proprietorship, which I don't know? Is it a corporation, an S Corp? Understanding what each of those elements are and which one will work best for your business idea.
Perfect.
And just from all of that,
she knows so much.
And then from there, you just want to have an understanding of your financials, which is to me the number one thing that holds people back from
that's
making
the place that people say, I'm with you. Okay. Got it. Got financial. Bye, girl. You know what I mean? It intimidates people. It scares people. And why is that?
So it's two worlds, right? You have your financials and do you have access to capital? And then you have financials as, can I survive and just do this one thing without any other source of income? That is scary for people. If they are used to, having that regular paycheck coming into their account, knowing that good and well that they may not even be working that hard for it, just knowing that money is hitting their bank account, it's a sense of reassurance. When you're in business, you only eat what you kill. Okay. So if you're not out there grinding,
that was a good
then
one.
You're left like, okay, well, how am I going to pay for whatever it is that I want? How am I going to live in a house? How am I going to buy my car? How am I going to, afford all of the different things that I am used to having? And so again, going back to that belief and having that confidence, that's why I say that's the root of really being able to build a successful and sustainable business. Okay. Now, once you have all those in place, who are you targeting? Who is your audience? And I always tell people just to think of one person. Don't think of servicing the entire world. Nail down, drill down to the nitty gritty of who needs what it is that you're going to be selling. And if you can target that one person, they have a million other people who have the same problem, who have similar situations. And so they really want to be able to find a solution. And if you're that solution to them, speaking to that one person, it will kind of like a domino effect or a waving effect that will hit everybody that falls in that category. And then the marketing and branding and all of that. So
all that stuff. Now look here, Liza, hi, nice to see you here today. Loving those glasses, girl. She says, now what about this scenario? What do you recommend? I was in the process of opening up my business when this COVID happened. So some people might all be saying, well, you got more time to do it now, but not necessarily, because maybe the 3 kids are at home now and she's got to be teacher. She's got to be this, she's got to be that. She might have an elderly parent that she's got to take care of that lives across town, a lot of variables. But what would you recommend to somebody, the people who were doing this, and then this came? Should they stop? Should they abandon ship, bail out, keep going?
Keep going. So, okay. If you were here earlier, then you know that I am a single mother of 2 children. And even with my my children and all of my responsibilities, because now I'm teaching 2 kids, along with running various businesses, right? Keep going, right? If this is something that you really want, it may require you to stay up till 2-3 o'clock in the morning to get it done.
Right.
So you just have to decide how important is this goal of yours. And so I can speak for myself. I homeschool my children during the day. We wrap up a little later because sometimes I have things like this in the morning. But my children understand. They know, hey, when mommy's on, we stay in this room. This is what we're allowed to do. And you just you prioritize it, right? I would definitely recommend getting a calendar that you can literally write down by the hour. How are you spending your day? What are you spending your time on? Because if you don't document your time, if you're not making it a priority to be intentional with how you spend your time, then your time will just completely just go by you and you'll be like, well, what did I do today?
Right.
What did I accomplish to work towards this goal? And so definitely take the time to document and figure out how you're going to spend your day. Now, if your business was registered, meaning that you registered and got your license with your state, then you were eligible to be able to apply for some of these grants and some of these loans that are available. So if you were in the process of transitioning and you had everything kind of like up and running, there are tons of grants out there to help you still be able to move forward with birthing that vision that you have. So don't allow this situation to make you feel like, I was going to do this. No, this situation, in my opinion, situation should propel you to want to do your own thing even more. Because there is over 37 million people who are on unemployment. So at any given time, your employer can say, thank you for your service, but right now we don't need you. And so if that can happen with your employer, the same thing with you being the employer. So
exactly.
You just have to decide, how are you going to utilize this time to make your vision a reality?
Good tips there. And I hope that helped our girl out there who was thinking, Liza, I hope that helps you. So keep going some more. Let's switch gears here and let's talk about nonprofits, because you have a nonprofit, and I just got to say this. Not everybody needs to start a nonprofit. There, I said it. I mean, so many people, everybody think, oh, you know what? Oh, I need to have me a nonprofit. Oh, I want a nonprofit. And I don't know. I think it's a combination. Some people think, oh, I can get grant money, free money, this, that, and the other. But a lot of people that start nonprofits need to just have a hobby, or turn, attach their wagon or their kite, if you will, to an existing nonprofit with the same mission. Instead of quit trying to duplicate the wheel over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So talk about your nonprofit, how you got to the to the demarcation line where you said, okay, I'm going to do this, because a lot goes into it. I feel, and I want to know how you feel about it, I think one of the most important parts of a nonprofit is your board.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
So talk about your nonprofit. First of all, the name?
The Woman Behind the Business.
Okay.
Is the nonprofit. And it's so funny, like you mentioned some of your nonprofits to just be a hobby. Mine started off as a hobby. I did not go into it expecting to start a nonprofit. It was never a goal of mine. It was not a thing. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Essentially, my for-profit DC Media Connection was being recognized for the work that we were doing and our growth and all of those things. And they were, it was a show that we were on, and the women got together, and I realized, like, hey, there's all these amazing women who are helping each other, but they're at this level. What about how are we going to raise up the next generation of women business owners? And so from that idea, I sat on another board at a local professional business center in DC. And so I said, well, I want to start having conversations. So the very first event, it was like a 5-part series. It was called The Woman Behind the Business. And I had a panelist of women come in who were successful. We had over 140 ladies registered to attend. And I was like, wow, this is a thing. Like, clearly, and it's in DC. So there's tons of events. There's tons of organizations.
Sure.
I felt like it was something that was missing. And so from there, over the years, I said, okay, we're going to do the retreat. And then I was like, okay, we need to turn this into a nonprofit. And that's how we started. But it was all from the idea of providing a service where we're able to help people, letting them have the resources. And so from there, it's transitioned into international waters, where I believe that it's all about helping people expand their network. So under the Obama administration, he had an initiative where he realized that less than 1% of small businesses did international business. And so when I heard that, that was kind of the genesis for us going beyond borders, helping women realize your brand doesn't just have to stay in your community. There's an opportunity for you to give exposure to that brand all over the world. So if I can connect you to people, to resources in other countries, now your products and services are being expanded. And so that was really the genesis for how it was birthed and how it has grown over the years.
Wow, that is just amazing. Let me get to the questions, because I see a good one. Christina Cash, who is an entrepreneur, female, very powerful here in my community, actually. Yeah. She's an interior designer and a real estate broker, does quite a good business. And so she's asking, so interesting, is there a branch chapter? I would organize a Chicagoland chapter. So what do you say to that?
Yes, Christina, let's talk. I would love to we do not have a chapter in Chicago right now. So I would definitely love to connect with you and definitely get a chapter started in the Chicago area.
She's the one, let me tell you that, right. She knows everybody. Well, because she's been in most of their houses, you know what I mean? One way or another. Right. So she knows everybody. So that's great. I'd love to hear that. So, your nonprofit, how old is it? How long have you had it?
3 years.
3 years. Okay. So what would you say was the most daunting struggle in the process of getting it up? Because you hear so many different types of stories about nonprofits. And then you have people that have nonprofits that are just sitting there. It's like the person that writes a book and the book is in the basement.
Right.
In a box.
Right. So for me, selecting your board is very important, because you want to have people who can actually give and support the nonprofit. And so one of my board members used to teach how to create and launch your nonprofit. So she did all the legwork, of course, and getting us up and running. But after that, I think it's really important to make sure that your vision is clear. I think it's very important to make sure that you can articulate what that vision is and allow people to take it and create what it needs to be in their community. So like I said earlier, I think you mentioned it, our first chapter was created in the Bahamas.
Right.
What I might deem as really important resources here in the U.S. may not be the same in the Bahamas. So understanding that each community is going to require different information, different, they have different problems. Mm-hmm. So trusting mm-hmm. that the foundational element of that nonprofit is what that foundation is, but allowing the leadership in whatever jurisdiction or country for them to really be able to have the freedom to say, this is what our people need. This is where we're falling short.
See, that's great right there, because I'm going to tell you something that I noticed, because I have a lot of guests that come on, female guests, that have something, some piece of their brand or their mission is geared to the empowerment and the support of females. You know, it's like a thing. It's like a fad almost. You see so much, and I'm like, it seems like it's so saturated. And when I get coaching clients, they say, "Oh, I want to do a female retreat," or "Oh, I want to write a book on female this," or "Oh, I want you to help me develop a speech that speaks to this type of female empowerment." And it's very challenging because there's so many fish swimming in that pond. What do you, you don't want to say, oh, why do you want to do that? Everybody's doing that, because you don't want to belittle the need or the importance of the need to that person. So when a woman is looking for that female brand or business or nonprofit or whatever it is that they want to do, that retreat, that whatever it is, mm-hmm. how do they ascertain the need? How do you begin that kind of research? Mm-hmm. And then also, this is a two-parter. How do you know where to find the people like the woman that took the heavy lifting from you to help get your nonprofit up? Where do people go? Are there groups? Are there magazines? Where do y'all go to find each other so you're not reinventing the wheel and you're finding the help you need?
Okay, so I'm going to, recently this came to me, okay?
Okay.
So this is probably my second time talking about it. Mm. I believe that there is a process with the root word store, STOR.
Okay.
And that process starts with your story. Remember in my intro, I talked about I'm a storyteller at heart.
Yes.
Your story. Your story is the one thing. Well, actually, before I go through to your story, mm-hmm. your storm.
Ooh.
Your storm is your personal testament of a particular situation or occurrence that you've had to make it through.
Mm.
You have something that you have gone through that maybe nobody else has gone through. So that storm becomes your story.
That's right?
From that storm, you really have to embrace everything that you're going through in that moment, which is really why I think that this whole COVID-19 situation is so important.
Mm.
Embrace the storm. From the storm, you build your story. Your story is your testimony. Your story is how you connect to other people. Your story is how you touch the hearts of others so that they can feel how you felt, and it will resonate with them to the point where they will say, I get this person. I understand what she's been through. It takes away the filters. It takes away whatever that person has accomplished. And now you are able to connect with that person on a level that you may not have thought possible. From your storm, creates your story. And your story generates your store. Your store is your storefront. How are people going to buy from you? What is it that you are able to provide to them that nobody else can provide to them? Because you've been through something that now you can sell to them, and now you've built a business around that, right? And so that is how you connect to whoever your target audience is. That is how you connect to the people who need what it is that you have. They will start to gravitate towards you. You will be like a magnet, but you have to own your storm. You have to tell your story in order to build your store.
Girl, you see, I was choked up. See, right? Yes. Y'all better write that down. Better yet, you know what you should do? You should get over either here or here and continue this dialogue. I told y'all. See, didn't I tell you it was a week? Giovanna Salas, the movie mogul, is on here watching, and she's like, now I know why we were connected. Just like Christine Cash. See, that's the law of attraction. All these powerful women. Crystal Crockett, she has a nonprofit for women, transitional housing. And I bet there are others on here that I don't even know. The ones of those of you who are thinking about doing something. Let me tell y'all something right here and now. For real. You know, a lot of people, you know how I'm nosy. I know everything on the wall behind you. And so I know y'all look too. Now, you know, I show people, and I keep I'm going to grab it. It's right here. I keep a yardstick. So when I'm in interviews or I'm on a coaching call or whatever, and people, when they come to the house here, you know, we have some space upstairs, and those hallways up there have stuff just like this on it. But you know what? I tell people exactly what you just said. I don't have this stuff hanging. So I can say, oh, see, this is when that happened. Oh, see, that's when that happened. That's when I did that. And that's when no, what I focus on, I look here. Let me turn it. You see that? I'm focusing. Why is that space blank? What am I supposed to be doing right now that's going to be hanging there next year, next month, next week? What's going up there where there's open space? I look at all the open spaces in my world, and I dream about what will go there. And you know what? Every single one of the things behind me, and I got to take the camera off to show you, started as one of these. That's my wall of purpose. Everything up there came to me. It didn't come from me. There's things on that wall and those Post-it notes that I have no idea what they're going to turn into. But everything in my world was once a Post-it note. And do you know why I use a Post-it note? I'm going to use the camera again. Because see my desk? See how stuff everywhere on top on, look at stuff buried all underneath here. See all that? But you know what? That's my stuff. But that stuff on the wall came from someplace greater. It is my content. It comes to me on its way through me. So I never put it where it can fall, get tripped up and fall in the trash can or get covered up. I keep it right in front of me, and I keep it on a Post-it note because I have never once in my life put a Post-it note on top of another Post-it note. So I show what is greater than me, that I believe, even when I don't have proof or any reason to believe, I do it. And that's what you were saying. That's why that storm part, you said something there. And that's why I jumped in. I'm not trying to take over the interview, but I want you guys to understand what you heard from Angel here about that storm. That's where it begins. That was an event. That was a mile marker to help you see how far you've gone down the road of your journey. That's all. It wasn't meant for you to live in it. It's there. So that's your rear view mirror. Those things, those storms are there for you to look in every now and then to remind you of where you've already been. You've lived the hard part. Now cash in on it. Get to your store and get there with the quickness while you're playing now more than ever. So, man, this hour, I hate when the hour goes by so fast, you know, and this just in. I'm just kidding. Because I know you're a journalist. So listen, we are going to have to give you the turnstile invitation, which means that you're welcome back here anytime you want, because I'm looking in. There's still a bunch of questions. If you can go in and talk to people afterwards, that'd be great. And the best place to continue the conversation with you, Angel, is here on the screen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely. I would say right here, or definitely on social media. The handle is at Angel and Livis.
Yes.
I would say on Instagram right now. I know we're on Facebook, but yeah, so Instagram, I'm very responsive. So you can definitely there. Please follow me. I would love to add you to our network.
Yes, absolutely. And you're going to be seeing more of Angel. We're going to be working on the female version of our generational healing series. That is, the male version is May 25th. Here on Bathrobe Moments and live streamed all over the world. So you'll see that. And then we'll start promoting the one that Angel is going to help us pull off. And it's going to be incredible. Angel, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you've done, everything you're doing, and everything I know you will continue to do. You're a true blessing. And for you all out there, if she just talked about it, she wouldn't be on the show. But she got up and she did something about it, and it manifested. She has it all, or so it seems. When I say she has it all, I mean she's got the shit days, She's got the people that hate on her. She's got all the stuff that the rest of us have, but you can still make it work. It's what you're here for. Angel, thank you so much. You truly live up to your name. I'll give you that much.